Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NAC Graphic Design class. I'm so excited. This is our first week, and for this week, we've structured our course. So, but the main topic for this week is Introduction to Photoshop. So, we have 3 days to learn in a week, and today being the first day, we're going to take a look at these basic things here. So today being the first day, we're taking a look at Photoshop interface. Some of you, this is your first time that you are getting to know Photoshop. Some of you, I know you've seen it before and you know how it looks like. Then we're also going to take a look at the basic settings in Photoshop. As a designer, you need to do your own settings to suit you. That's when your customization come, your workspace. That you know if you are looking for a particular tool or a particular panel, this is where you can locate it easily. Okay, so that's the customization of the workspace. Then for us to do our designs, we have tools that we use in Photoshop, so we are going to take a look at those tools one by one and what they do. I mean, their uses. Then for you to do any work, for you to design anything in Photoshop, you need what we call size. You need a size. So we're going to take a look at the various sizes in Photoshop. Photoshop already has some sizes there, so if you want any of those, just go and pick them directly. But if you have different size, what you do is you just go and then measure wherever you're going to paste your work whatsoever, then you put it. You're going to take a look at that one too. Then how to save your work, you're going to take a look at. So this is the one we're taking a look at. This 6 things, basic things in Photoshop. So let's get started by opening our Photoshop. Alright, so this is my Photoshop. So what you are seeing over here is what you call the Photoshop interface. So this is what you call the Photoshop interface. You know, the first thing I said we're going to look at is the Photoshop interface. So what you see here is the Photoshop interface. Now with the Photoshop interface, we have different things making up the interface. Okay, we have what we call the workspace. So let me start by going to the top here. You see here where you can see the file, the edit, the image, layer, type, select, filter, 3D, view, window, help. Now here, this is the menu bar or the standard menu bar. Alright, standard menu bar, we can locate certain options over here. Then under this menu bar, you can see these things over here. Here you're going to have, here we call it the option bar. The option bar, when you select a particular tool, various options of that tool would appear here. They will be the one to appear here, so we call it the option bar. Now when you come here, here are the tools. Here are the tools. So here is the tool panel, the tools panel. Now over here, when you select a size, this is what we call the workspace. Okay, this is what we call the workspace. So when you select a size, it will appear over here. You're going to do that, then you take a look at it. Then when you come here, we have other bars or other panels to here. So when I click on this is history. History is telling us that if I should do something, it will write it. Okay, I have selected a tool, I have deleted something, I have erased something. Yes, so all those things will appear over there. For an example, if let's say, okay, we'll get to that. So that is it. History will just talk about what you've done previously. It will appear over them. Then when you come here, you have the properties bar. Now properties, to talk about it, it gives various options of maybe a tool let's say when you are drawing a shape, properties of that shape will come. Let's say if it is a stroke, color, whatsoever, they will come here. Or maybe you want to do an adjustment, all those things, it will come to the properties panel over here. Then when you take a look at here, we have other thing. We have the color over here, right? We all know what color is, various colors. Okay, then we have the swatches. These are all just colors. Now we come here, this is the adjustment. So at the adjustment side, we have the brightness, we have the saturation, we have the vibrance, and the rest. So all these adjustments, we use them, all these tools over here, we use them for pictures, images. For an example, when they are retouching your pictures, photographers, when they take pictures of you and they are editing it, they use these adjustments tools here, okay, to make it fine for you. All right, then we have styles. Let's say if you draw a shape and you want it in a different style, we have it over here. Some will drop shadow and the rest, you can do that. The blending styles, you can do that. Then when you get down here, you have the layer panel over here. So layer panel, in this case, layer is talking about the images that you'll be bringing into Photoshop to work with, the text that you'll be putting in to work with, whatsoever you're going to work. So for an example, if you bring any picture into Photoshop, it will appear here as a layer. When you type in something, it will appear here as a layer. When you draw a shape, it will appear here as a layer. Okay, so in Photoshop, layers refers to those items or things that we use in doing our design, the text, the images, the shapes. Okay, then you come to the channel here. Let's talk at the path through. Let's forget about that one for now. All right, so yeah, this is timeline. This timeline is used for different things. So now let's go to the basic settings, in Photoshop. Now when you go to window over here, then you come to your workspace. Photoshop has default workspace, that is the essential. So when you open it, that is the for the first time, that is the first setting that will come. You know, 3D, when you're dealing with 3D, Photoshop has, you know, the tools and everything you need to use. When you're doing motion, that is, you want a text to, you know, sometimes when you're watching TV, the text will come and do all those things, animation, all those things. They do some in Photoshop too. When you're doing painting, you see they sometimes they paint images, digital painting images into somehow cartoons and the rest for you, photographic to all those things. Photoshop has these settings here for you, so you can try to customize it or do other things yourself. You can even rename it after doing everything. Maybe you don't want these tools to be here, you want it to be on the left, then you do that. You can save it with your own name or whatsoever, so that next time you can just click on it and your settings will come directly. So with the settings, let's maintain the essential over here for us to, in our graphic design, in designing process and flyers, we don't need this timeline thing. Okay, so now how do we get rid of this timeline? We can do that by going to window. Then when you go through the options over, you see timeline, then you just uncheck it. There it means it is gone forever unless you click on it again. All right, now when you come to the options bar over here, please, you see auto check over here. Auto check, please click to check it. Okay, make sure it is marked. The reason being that when you are dealing with layers, I mean shapes, text, images, the moment you click on an image in your workspace where you are doing your work, it will automatically select it at the layer panel for you. Okay, to automatically select it at the layer panel for you. I'm saying all this because we're going to take a practical look at all of those things. That's for the day 2 when we are drawing shapes and all those things. Now the show transform tool, as for me, I don't like using the show transform tool because sometimes it disturbs me. For me it disturbs, but for others it will not disturb, because show transform tool, like when you check it, what it means is that it will draw a form of if you want to increase or decrease any layer, maybe a text, you want to make it bigger or smaller, something like that, you can just use the show transform tool, and there are particular keys that you need to hold before doing that. Okay, you're going to take a look at all those things. So for those of you that it will not be, maybe it will not disturb you when we get into the practical, you can check it. Now, for us to work in our Photoshop, when we are typing everything, we need our character panel to show. So go to window, then click on character. So when you click on character, you see the character panel will appear here. At the character panel, this is where you have your font style, the size, the spacing, and the rest, and the color of the font. If you want to make it bold, italic, if you want to underline it, character panel tells you all that. Now, when you click beside the character panel, you see paragraph. All paragraph means. Paragraph, this one is just talking about the alignment, whether you want your text to be left aligned, to start from the left exactly, to be centered, to be right aligned, and the rest. So when you click on, when you move your mouse cursor to one, to tell you what the name is. So this one is justify. All right, so everything will be in line, pepper from head to toe. Justify last centered, justify last right, justify all. So we're going to take a look at how to use all of these things. All right, now, so that's the basic settings we have. Yeah, that's the basic settings.